Ladies and gents, welcome to CG Reaction. This is Miscellaneous Miss Amaterasu and the Cave by the channel of Sarcastic. Yeah, which myth is it? Japanese. With the onset of Northern Hemisphere winter on the horizon, it felt almost appropriate to take a minute to discuss a Japanese myth about the sun taking a holiday. Why is that a thing, right? That even in the Egyptian thing, the Ra takes away the sun or something like that. Then Ra's son has to chase after him or something like that. He went senile or something. Yeah. So here's a short, sweet video about the near end of the world and how it was saved by strategically placed nakedly. What? Warning: all parties involved are professional deities. Do not attempt to lure your depressed friends out with the house by stripping. Yeah. Well, it is worth something, I guess. This is by the channel of Sarcastic Production. I love Miscellaneous myths, and this is apparently Japanese one. I don't think I've read quite a few Japanese myths now. I think one or two maybe. But yeah, this is gonna be fun. I don't know much about Japanese myths. I mean, I know there are lots of folk tales and things like that, horror stories about that urban legends, but not actual god mythologies and things like that. So this is gonna be fun. Remember, people, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out the reaction. There's going to be season with all of my videos. Check out the cars for the different playlists like Oli Sarcastic Production Reaction. I uploaded quite a few videos from this channel already. Quite a few reactions. Upload 2 a day, I guess now. First is, I guess, trope talk or maybe some history video, and the other is around this time Miscellaneous myths. So yeah, check that out. Check out the playlist too, like history, Tier Zoo, CGP Grey, Internet Historian, and yeah, let's do this one.
There are a lot of myths about the sun taking a holiday for one reason or another, and they rarely go well for anybody. Turns out we need the sun to, live, and when it decides to take a vacay, people tend to object on account of the whole dying thing. One of the more noteworthy examples of this story comes to us straight from Shintoism, with a story about the sun goddess Amaterasu and her increasingly annoying younger brother, the storm god Susanoo no Mikoto. Now, we're off to a good start when Susanoo gets himself kicked out of heaven before the story even begins. Izanagi, our buddy from the Underworld video, orders Susanoo to travel to the Underworld, and Susanoo, not too stoked to be told to go to hell, decides to visit his sister Amaterasu first and spend some time catching a raise to calm himself down. Now the problem is, Susanoo has earned a bit of a reputation for trouble, so Amaterasu's just a little suspicious when he storms on by for a visit. As a show of good faith, Susanoo suggests that they engage in a friendly duel of god-making. Unfortunately, the win conditions are poorly defined, and after creating a total of 8 gods, both deities proudly proclaim themselves to be the winner. In the course of their subsequent argument, Susanoo loses his temper and throws a flayed pony into Amaterasu's weaving hall. Yeesh. So the shock of that gratuitous violation of hospitality causes one of Amaterasu's attendants to drop dead on the spot, and Amaterasu gives a resounding
Flamed pony, okay. First of all, what is the position here? Who's more powerful? Won't the sun be seen as more powerful deity or something? So I guess, he just attacked her, I guess, in there. Or maybe they're seen as equal.
Sounding screw it and storms off to sulk in a cave. Now obviously this is bad for everybody. Without Amaterasu's sunlight, the world starts to wither and die, and even worse...
Alright, at the start of the video where he goes to visit her, how she is, with the bow and everything, I thought she was gonna have some temper and some kind of a fight, but she's like, screw this, I'm going away, and just, hides inside the cave. That is weird.
Demons start leaking out of the underworld and wreaking havoc. To put it lightly, bad scene for everybody. So the gods decide they have to find a way to lure Amaterasu out of her cave before things get even worse. Their first plan is to put a whole bunch of roosters outside the cave so that Amaterasu will hear the crowing and think, gee, must be time for sunrise. Predictably, this plan does not work, and they presumably fight.
Yeah, maybe it did kind of work. As soon as she heard the voice of all these chickens, she's like, oh, look at the sun, time for sunrise. Wait a minute, and just went back from the middle of the way.
Fire whatever god came up with it. Their next plan is a little more inspired. So first off, they set up this mirror outside the cave so that once Amaterasu comes out of the cave, she'll see her own reflection, and it's not strictly clear why they thought this would be helpful. Then one of the gods who's actually been paying attention...
Okay, what? First of all, she's not coming out of the cave in the first place. They need to do something to get her out of the cave. Mirror is supposed to only work if she comes out of the cave. But if she comes out of the cave, you don't need the mirror. What was that? I mean, this is not a real story of it. This is mythology. Somebody came up with it. But even then, somebody just, I guess I'm thinking of few people sitting in a circle just freeballing things and writing it down as a mythology. And somebody just suggested this, and people are like, screw it, I'm putting it in, I guess. Even though it doesn't make sense.
Shin goes to get Ame no Uzumi no Mikoto, the goddess of fun, partying, and the dawn, and suggests that she lures out Amaterasu with a strip.
Wait a minute, what was that? No god was specified as suggesting the idea, so say hi to... I can't pronounce that name. God, goddess of the moon. Okay, so that's the moon, I guess. Okay.
With a striptease. I'm not joking. Or exaggerating. Now, as the goddess of fun and partying, Ame no Uzumi is more than down to get naked if it means saving the world, and probably even if it didn't. So Amaterasu hears all the commotion outside, pops her head out of the cave, sees the roosters, the mirror, and the enthusiastically naked dawn goddess, and comes out for real. Read into that symbolism as much or as little as you want to. So the other gods...
Nothing there to read. Sun is gay. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. In Greek mythology, there are lots of, gay and even bisexual people. Even in the Japanese mythology, there is, sun is gay apparently. So why, being gay was shunned throughout the world for so long? I mean, even the mythologies has something like that.
Promptly seal up the cave so Amaterasu can't pull that stunt again, and Amaterasu returns to her regular sun duties. Susanoo is subsequently banished from heaven for causing the whole mess, and he wanders the earth.
Okay, why? How can moon have the power to banish somebody? Is the moon in charge or something?
Turns to her regular sun duties. Susanoo is subsequently banished from heaven for causing the whole mess, and he wanders the earth for a while having adventures until he eventually gets back into Amaterasu's good graces by gifting her the legendary sword Grasscutter. Yay! Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo.
Here comes the sun. Yeah, notable variants. The rooster's mirror and striptease all help coax the Amaterasu out of the cave, and each contribute about equally rather than being two failures. And what? How? How did the... Okay, roosters, maybe I see that. I mean, it's like, like I said, she comes out halfway and she's like, oh, wait a minute, and goes back. How does mirror help?
Here comes the sun, and I say...
Amaterasu's only lured out by the sound of the other gods, not what they're cheering for, and what really draws her eye is the sight of her own beautiful reflection. Okay, so that's the alternate version, huh? So that's how the mirror is supposed to work.
It's alright.
Alternate. The gods tell Amaterasu that they've found a new sun goddess, and she's super hot, you guys. Causing Amaterasu to emerge from the cave and become mesmerized with the beauty of her own reflection. That's it.
Little darling.
I mean, look, Sun's Amaterasu's, I guess, brother killed somebody, and she got pissed off and just went away like, screw all of you, I don't need none of you, and just went inside the cave. How is showing her like, see how beautiful you are? How does that work? I mean, that wasn't the issue yet. Nobody told her that she's ugly or something. How is that supposed to bring her out and make her happy or something? I guess it's just simple, like, I guess praising her is enough. Oh, see, you're so beautiful, now come out. Is that it? Okay. Curious emotional variants that make it a little less blatantly "I've got a girl crush" still retain Amaterasu's fascination with the female form in some way or another. Okay. Although a number of them turn it into narcissism, self-esteem. Tsukiyomi, yeah, is an interesting figure. After a tiff with Amaterasu, the two gods weren't on speaking terms ever again, which was why the night and day was separated. Beyond that, there's not much mythos about them. Yeah, okay.
It feels like years since it's been here.
At least it's better than the moon trying to kill the sun. So people have to do the blood sacrifice to fuel the sun. At least it's better than that. Also, Tsukiyomi is a male figure, while Tsukiyomi is generally represented as female. Tsukiyomi. Yeah, okay.
Here comes the sun.
Yeah, maybe due to the changing nature of the moon.
Here comes the sun,
Yeah.
and I say it's alright.
Those blue and yellow demon-looking fellows were Fujin and Reijin, the gods of wind and thunder respectively. Fujin carries a bag of wind, while the Reijin beats a drum and makes thunder. Yeah, okay. There's not much about them in the mythos, but I'm pretty sure they inspired several thunder-themed brother pairings in modern fiction. I remember there was definitely a Teen Titans episode where a couple suspicious deific characters with thunder and lightning power showed up, and there was an early Inuyasha episode like that too. Also, although those guys also resembled a pair of demon brothers that served as early antagonists in Journey to the West, which is in progress, I swear. What? So it's hard to say if that's their primary inspiration or not.
Since it's been here comes the sun.
It was either the song or Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, which, considering the subtext of the myth, I found a little too hilarious to safely include. You should have.
Here comes the sun.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Why are all myths are funny? Look, when it comes to Greek mythology, it's somehow confusing, disturbing. Sometimes, just shows that God doesn't give a shit or something, and Zeus is way too horny. That's your Greek mythology right there. And Aphrodite is, I guess, just as, volatile. But every other myth is somewhat funny, right? I mean, there is always some funny element to this. I mean, in this myth, clearly, her brother does something like, screw you all guys, I'm going to the cave, and just hides there, and everybody has to, appease her and get her out or something. That was the thing. All right, people. If you like my reaction, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out the reaction, this is the link in the description, check out the cards, please check out the end cards, and I'll see you next time.